everyone, and welcome back. Today is a super busy Sunday here in Western Massachusetts. We have a huge snowstorm right now, and thankfully the power is still on. So I figured let's stay super busy today. I started taking my dahlias out of storage. I actually had to bring them inside into the basement because it was negative 16 degrees yesterday. Today was negative 6. We have so much snow. We're supposed to be getting like 19 inches or so. It's crazy. I mean, it just looks like pure white outside with all the snow. So I hope we don't get the full 19 inches. But I figured before my little one wakes up from nap time, I want to tell you what I am seed starting in the month of February because it's the last week of January. Like, believe it or not, I can't get over that this month went by so fast. And we are going to be in the full swing of seed starting, and I am so dang excited. And hey, if you're new here, my name is Christy. I am located in Western Massachusetts, Zone 6A, and my average last frost date is around May 10th to 15th. It got bumped up to May 9th, but I feel like for a lot of these things, I will probably plant them out like my peppers and tomatoes after Memorial Day weekend. I learned from last year, we had a cold spell. I actually had to tarp all of my peppers, and it was no fun at all. I was very nervous. They were definitely stunted for a little bit, and then they kind of bounced back. And my indeterminate tomatoes were a little bit too tall for my liking when planting out, so I pushed those back. But I do usually like to do peppers and tomatoes on Valentine's Day weekend. So let's get in. But first, if you would like to, go ahead and check out how I like to figure out when I like to start my seeds, because I do include a free printout of what I like to start and what I plan on starting. So if you have a similar date, you can go ahead and check that out and maybe follow this along. I hope it's helpful. If not, you can even just adjust it to fit your average last frost date. So today is going to be January 25th, and I just started some Snapdragon. I do plan on spacing those out and doing 3 successions of them. I started my groups 1 and 2 for my cooler season ones, and then I do have some 3s and 4s that I do plan on succession planting, either waiting a week or 2, depending on when I have the time and how much space I do have on my heat mat. Now I do have 2 4-foot heat mats and then 2 single smaller ones. I can fit about 1 tray on them. So I do have the options. It's more of just the plant space. If I need to move things around, I do have a table over here where I do a lot of my seed starting on the heat mat once my racks start filling up. These ones behind me, they are perfect for my tomatoes and dahlias once they start getting a little bit taller. So I do have space. I do have a few racks in the basement where my ranunculus are right now, and then I'm going to be taking over part of my husband's office if I need to once zinnias start coming along. So we have options, but we have a lot to get done in February. All right, so let's take a look at what we're doing. So next weekend, February 1st, I do plan on doing another round of Snapdragons. Last time I did Snapdragons, it didn't take too long to germinate. So once I have 3 trays, they are the 128 cell count, and I did a lot of Chantilly. So I will be moving those hopefully off, and then next weekend starting another round of Snapdragons. Now I do have a 50-foot bed that I plan on planting all of these in. And I do have a few 6x3 beds that we did some fall plantings with, but the bunny ate them. So hopefully they will bounce back, because I was really hoping to have that one nice strong stem, cutting that and then getting any side shoots that I can. So we'll see. If not, I did do some backups too. I had some orange and whites. Unfortunately, I don't know what group they were in. So that was what was planted out there. So in case those don't come up, at least I have some backups. Now on January 8th, I do have a lot of options. Again, this all just depends on how much space I have on my heat mats. I'm hoping I have plenty of space, and I'm not going to be doing a lot of like 72 cells for some of these. Some of them I have some 40 cell trays, which I will be doing, and then I might just put 2 or 3 seeds and then pot them up later. So we'll see what works. So I have everything here with little sticky notes. So hopefully I am staying as organized as possible. So I do plan on, for my second succession of Snapdragons, I do have some apple blossom. I have the Johnny's Early Sunrise Mix, Orleans Early Lemon Yellow. I have that for my February 1st. So these I will be starting hopefully next weekend. I don't have too much, so I should be good to go. And I do have one that I forgot what it was. I'll put it down in below. But I do have one other plant. It's a perennial that I wanted to start earlier. However, I found out that you should try and put them in the fridge so that way you have a better success rate with germination. So I do also plan on doing that. It'll be, I think, about 2.5 or 3 weeks they would be in the fridge. So I'm hoping with those snapdragons, I can also do that perennial as well. I don't need to do a full 72 count of those. I can just do it in a 40 or even take a couple of 6-packs and use them. So we'll see how that goes. All right, next up is the weekend of February 8th. And again, I do everything during nap time. Like my little one just did a lap around his bed and he fell back asleep. Hopefully he stays down. So I do try and give myself a good couple of weeks. So usually I try and do anything if it says the 6 to 8 week mark, I will write down 8 weeks out. So that way I know if I don't have time to plan anything out, I have 2 more weeks and I'll still be in the good time frame. I usually just like to try and start everything early. I know it's not always the best because you have a lot to upkeep, but it just, I know sometimes I get behind and I have a lot to grow this year. I do plan on trying to use my greenhouse a little bit more to move things out so they can be ready to go and hardened off as well. So for the weekend of February 8th for snapdragons, I have some Madam Butterfly Bronze, Madam Butterfly Rose. Oh, I actually have 2 of those. I have some leftover Madam Butterfly Cherry Bronze and Madam Butterfly Ivory. And I did get everything mostly from Johnny's or the Gardener's Workshop. So that will be for February 8th. Those are going to be for the snapdragon. Now, the next few I can get anywhere between February 8th to February 22nd. So that is going to be my 2-week span. And one of those is going to be my Black-Eyed Susans. All right, so for my Black-Eyed Susans, I have 2 varieties that I do plan on starting. And that is going to be the Cherokee Sunset and the Sahara mix. Super excited to get these. So I did actually start some of these in the fall and plant them out. I'm testing them out to see if they will hopefully winter over and then I'll get some blooms. If not, I do have 2 sets to start up. And then while grabbing these, I totally forgot I had another pile of snapdragons because I did do an order later on. We did a second seed haul video and I forgot to actually file these in, but most of them are going to be the Potomac, or I do have some other, the Rocket Mix, which I know can definitely be maybe done a little bit later. So maybe I'll do 4 successions. So I did have the Potomac Plum Blossom, Potomac Berry Blend, Rocket Mix I'm hoping will help me out in the summer. I have some more Potomac Apple Blossom. I have the Orleans Red, so that will be planted out later with the Rocket. And then I do have some more Madam Butterfly Cherry Bronze. I had a few extra, but I must have not have had enough. So I do have all of these, yay, to filter in. So I totally forgot to do that, but see, good thing I remembered. So we have lots of snapdragons, and the reason why I have a lot, and I know some people will probably be like, what in the world is she doing? I don't know which ones grow the best in my climate. So my thought process is, because I like to jump all in and just go big or go home, I'm going to try and grow all the varieties so that way I can learn what grows best in my climate and in my area. So then next year, then I can just go ahead and cut the ones that either I didn't like or just didn't do well and just focus in on what worked really well. This is going to be a big trial year. I want to try and grow all the things. So then that way, once I take this up to the next level, I'm trying to still learn my planting schedule, learn what grows well here. So then that way, once I really want to rev things up business-wise, I will know what works for me. So this is going to be like my trial year. Last year was my year to see if people were interested in buying my flowers. This year is going to be all about trialing what works best and grows best in my area. Then next year, I really want to hone in on the business aspect and growing my business more and doing more, which I did do a whole entire video of what I'm hoping to accomplish this year. And then I have some bigger goals lined up down the road. So we have a lot we're working with right now. So up next, after the Black-Eyed Susans, in the same time frame, so that's going to be February 8th to the 22nd, is going to be Echinops. Now, I did winter sow some of these, but I wanted to start some indoors as well, just in case, because I do plan on putting some of these perennials at the school that I work at and then some here. And what I will do is I'm going to try and fill as much as I can in the space that I have at my own house, and then whatever's left over, I will go and transfer over there, and the kids love helping me grow things and plant things, so hopefully we'll have enough. So I do have the retro variety, Star Frost, and Blue Glow, and those are either from Johnny's or Swallowtail. And then after Echinops is going to be Campanula. Now, I grew some of these last year, I want to say, maybe in winter sowing. And I did fall plant some as well. So we'll see how those go. But I do have the Champion 2 White, Champion 2 Pink, and I also have Champion 2 Rose. So I do have 3 of them that I plan on doing. I really wanted to get these in the fall, but I just didn't have time, and I totally forgot to order them. So I'm going to see how it is with spring planting these. If not, I'm only going to do a handful of them. Hopefully, we'll do better. I really don't care for pelleted seeds. I am learning that. I think just the time frame of them starting to break down was stressing me out. So hopefully I'll do a little bit better with these than I did with the Lysianthus. All right, so next up, I do have an oregano. Now, I forgot who I saw, but she really suggested this. It's a perennial. She suggested you plant them on the edge of a raised garden bed so they can drape over. And it was this beautiful pink and green oregano. So I'm going to be getting that in as well. I can't seem to find it right now. It's an ornamental oregano. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll put that down here on the screen for you. But I really wanted to try that out. So that is also going to be February 8th to 15th. I don't need a whole lot of these. I might just do a couple of 6-cell packs. So we'll see how we do with these. So up next, Valentine's Day. Like I mentioned before, peppers and tomatoes worked very well with me. But since I'm growing so many flowers and tomatoes take up a lot of space and peppers take so much time, I am totally downgrading. Last year I planted out maybe like 40 or so pepper plants. This year I am just sticking to like a good 4 or 8 of them. They will not get any of my garden bed space. So I'm going to be growing these in containers. So hopefully they will do well, but I just wanted my plain Jane green and Rell bed peppers. That is what I used a lot of. I grew a lot of snackers and jalapenos last year, and I just gave them away. And I couldn't even give them away for free, my jalapenos. I had so many at my stand. So we're cutting out jalapenos this year. We're just going to do the red bell peppers that I like to use maybe like 1 or 2 a week. So I'm going to only do a handful of plants. I probably will only do 2 6-cell trays of those as well because I'm not going to need a ton. So another perennial that I'm super excited to give a whirl is Veronica. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to winter sow or start these indoors, but we're going to start them indoors. So February 15th, I do have Sightseeing Mixture and the Pink Goblin varieties of Veronica. I saw those and I just loved the spikes, and I love that it's a perennial. I am huge with perennials, so I wanted to add this to my garden. So we will be starting on February 15th, some Veronica. All right, so up next is going to be on February 15th is Gomphrena. Now, I had awful luck growing Gomphrena last year. I did actually do some in my winter sowing milk jugs, and those actually did pretty darn well, but they just got so overcrowded. And then like the Audrey pink and white that I got from Johnny's, they like literally put on 3 stems and that was it. I don't know if it's because it was such awful soil that I planted them in. I wanted to use them more as like a decorative purpose up front in my landscaping, but they did so bad. But I saved my own seeds. So I only bought, I believe, Johnny's the sequence one, the new one that they just came out with. And then the rest are saved seeds that I had from last year. I hope that they did really well. So I do have the Audrey white and Audrey pink, which I'm hoping I can start indoors from saved seeds. If not, I'm not going to care if I don't have them because I was honestly going to cut them off. I saw the new color and I was like, okay, we're just going to give Gomphrena 1 more year. I do love the flowers. I have some in my kitchen. I kid you not. They are, I think, 2 or 3 years old from when I still had my farm share, and they still look so vibrant. It was like this nice carmine pink. So I do love them for drying. So I'm going to give them 1 more shot, and then maybe I'll take a break on them until I can get my trees cleared in the backyard and we'll have more sunshine for them. So another thing, like I mentioned before, if I have time on the 15th, I also have rosemary down. But again, I only really use that for myself for come Thanksgiving and Christmas time when I was doing all of my holiday cooking. But I did see some people putting some sprigs in their wreaths, so I might try that, but I might, if I don't have time, it's not gonna be like the end of the world. I might just buy a plant at the local nursery down the road. Right, now, February 22nd is stock. So I do have some varieties right here. I grew stock to fall plants and they bloomed. However, it was after my, like, I kid you not, after my frost. They were covered because they were in the same row as my dahlias, but my dahlias all died, so I had nothing to put them with, so I just actually cut the stems for myself and put them in my house. So I was able to grow stock. They were a little bit tricky to keep them alive indoors. I'm not sure if it's because it was getting too warm in here, because I did grow them in the summer to plant out for fall harvest. So I'm hoping that since I'm starting them in here, and we've been keeping our room around like 63 degrees, so it's not super warm, hopefully they'll do a little bit better. So February 2nd, I do hope to do some stock. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to go through and thin out and just do doubles or singles. Honestly, I think I might just grow them all out, and then if I have really good success, maybe then I'll just stick to the doubles. But I do have Cat's High Double White, I have 2 of them. Love when that happens. Iron Apricot and Iron Pastel Mix. So I do have 3 varieties of stock, and then maybe we'll try them again for the fall. I think I did like a nice deep purple and like a very deep red, if I'm remembering correctly, or it was like a deep pink. And those were such pretty colors for the fall, but I just did not have the timing correct. So that is going to be stock. So up next is coleus, and I had such good results with that. I didn't grow it last year. I did get it from the local nursery down the road, and I was like, what am I gonna do this? She actually gave me 6 huge pots for free, because she was closing up. She's like, I don't need all of this, so you take it, because I did a big purchase when she had everything on sale, and it worked so good for my fall bouquets. So I decided I'm going to try and grow some coleus, and if that doesn't work out, I'll just pick up some down the road. So I got these all from Swallowtail. It was one of the only places I could find coleus seeds. So I got a lot. They're all, actually not a lot. I got all of them. They're premium sun varieties. I got the dark chocolate, watermelon, crimson gold is what I believe I had last year. And like I said, it was just perfect with my sunflowers. Those fall bouquets that mason jar bouquets that I made, like those were always the first to go, even over the dahlias, because they lasted for, I kid you not, 2+ weeks. I had the triloba Black-eyed Susans. I did sunflowers, which I planted super close together, so they were relatively small. And then I did the coleus, and I had people telling me that it was like 2.5 weeks they were lasting in the vase with, changing out the water, and they were just so thrilled. So I really wanted to go with the coleus, and I also got Lime Delight. So these also need a lot of time to grow. I did do it 2 years ago, and I didn't have too much luck. But again, I wasn't really focusing on flowers then. I was more into vegetables. So since I'm going heavy with the flowers this year, I'm hoping that I can give them the time that they need. And also for the weekend of the 22nd, we have a lot, to be honest. So I do have some cress. I got a couple of different varieties. So from Johnny's, I have the Persian cress. And then I also got that same cress from the Gardener's Workshop, as well as cress green dragon. I had this last year. I had the penny cress. I think I actually still have some left over. I forgot who I purchased it from, and I absolutely loved it. It just added like this nice sparkle of green. And so I only did a little bit. This time I really want to go heavier on it. So we do have our cress, and I can get that. It says planted anywhere, or started, I should say, anywhere between February 22nd and March 8th. So again, if I don't have room on the heat mat, I'm still giving myself a 2-week window to get everything started. I'm also going to try out Dusty Miller. I purchased that last year just at a big box store, and I use those for my planters. So I really want to try doing Dusty Miller. Again, this is something that if I have time to, I will. It's more going to be for my own self. I really liked it for my planters out front by my walkway and my front door. So I do have some Dusty Miller as well. I have Ami, which I'm going to try and do on the 22nd. So a lot of that greenery and filler flowers will be coming into play right now. And then I also plan, oh, how did I miss this? So February 15th, I have Sweet Williams. I purchased the Amazon varieties from the Gardener's Workshop. So I have Amazon Neon Purple and Amazon Neon Cherry. How did I forget to do this? So I started Sweet Williams last year, but it must have been the biannual version. So I didn't get any blooms, so hopefully I will get those as well. All right, and last but not least, my tomatoes. So I plan on doing my determinate tomatoes the end of February. So that is going to be February 28th, that last weekend in February. Hopefully I will be able to get my determinate tomatoes. And I just want to let you know with tomatoes, I did an experiment last year, so it's going to be 2026 now. Last year in 2025, I started seeds that were packaged in the year 2022, and they all germinated. So just know that you don't have to throw away your old seed packets. You can keep them. The germination rate may go down, but they still will grow. Just give them a chance. And I just put mine in a solo cup on top of some soil. I put a Ziploc bag underneath it as a humidity dome, and then I pluck them out once they're a little bit bigger. It's like the simple way of growing tomatoes. So I do plan on doing determinate tomatoes. I like to do yellow ones for my coworkers. I do not eat tomatoes. I basically grow them for my coworker because she loves them, and my mother-in-law as well. So I am going to be putting those in pots on the outside of my garden. So I'm not going to have so many this year. Last year I had 2 big beds, and I probably had anywhere around 20 or 30 plants, and then I had them in pots all around the outskirts of my vegetable garden. So this year I'm hoping just to have like 8 max, if you can hold me to it. So that is everything that I plan on growing for the month of February. If I have missed anything, or you think I should add something, which I know I really shouldn't, I still have to go ahead and start some dahlias as well. And then I know that February 28th weekend coming on March 1st, I know I have some flowers to get going. So it just all depends. I love that I'm giving myself a 2-week timeline. So if I don't have room on the heat mat, I'm not going to stress. I know that I have 2 more weeks to get them growing, and I hope I'm able to share them all with you. And I did a little poll, and people were saying that they would rather me just group everything together. So like on the weekend of the 8th, on the 15th and 22nd, I have a lot. So you might have like a long video, or maybe I'll break it up into 2 days. So we'll see. Again, this all depends on how much I can get done while my little one is napping. But yeah, I'm so excited. We are getting into the full swing of seed starting. And I'm hoping I can get all the things planted and not kill them in the process, and making sure that I get that watering down. I'm going to have to start fertilizing some of my stuff by then. I really like to use Neptune's Harvest. Even though it's a little bit of a fishy smell, I dilute it so much I feel like you can't really tell. I got to get all of my fans out so I can get those ready to strengthen stems. And yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Pretty soon, this won't be a storage shelf right behind me. You'll be seeing, I had tomatoes over here last time. It was awesome. I do my tomatoes in a double solo cup. Definitely check out that video too. And I had really, really good results using the double solo cup method. So I'm going to keep that going as well. So if you would like to stay tuned and updated and see all the flowers that we plan on growing, and then finally getting to sprinkle in some vegetables, go ahead and click like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I'll see y'all next time. Happy gardening.